All right, guys. So welcome to our meeting tonight. I am very excited to lead the call. I actually did this presentation January of 2018. And so it's been about a year and a half, and I know we have a lot of new faces, but it's a topic that I think is important to chat about. And it's a topic that I love to talk about. So if you've ever spent any time with me, you know I will take it to hear what I'm going to talk about every single time. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you, and we will get it going. All right. So tonight, like I just talked about, it's what's really holding you back from making the money you deserve. Because whether you've been in this business for a week, whether you've been in this business for 6 months, a year, I'm going on almost 5 years, at some point in your business, you're going to say like, dang, I feel like I should be further along by now. And if you've said that now, or you will probably say in the future, that's totally normal. But often what's holding us back is probably a lot different than what we may think. Now, let me just preface this by saying I'm probably going to be talking about things that might trigger you on this call. I'm going to be talking about God. I'm going to be talking about the universe. I'm going to be talking about money and abundance and wealth and our mindset. And I'm just going to go for it because I'm not going to hold back, but there might be some things that either piss you off or trigger you or make you a little anxious, and that's okay. I just want you to jot a note of that, okay? And just observe it. Don't stress out about it. We'll address it as it comes up, but hopefully I have permission to just speak freely, and then I can answer questions on the end. So first things first. What I want to talk about is that I have so many coaches on our team that are like, I'm doing all the things and I feel like I'm stuck or I'm stagnant, or shouldn't I be further along by now? And so when I say you're doing all the things, what I mean is you're doing the 4 vital behaviors as what we do as a coach. This is not going to be a strategy call. I'm going to quickly go over them, but really you have everything you should be doing on a daily basis as a coach, probably too much, because we've given you all of our scripts and our guides and our action hours, and you have your business activity tracker that you should be doing every day. But let's say you're doing it. You're being proof of the products. So you're showing up, you're doing workouts, you're drinking Shakeology, you're sharing on social media, you're showing that what we do works. You're inviting, you're connecting, you're following up, you're doing your action hour, you're following our scripts, you're making connections, you're following up, you're doing all of that. You are doing your personal development. You're reading, you're filling your mind up with positivity and belief, and you're getting results both for yourself, your clients, and your team. So you've got that unlock. If you don't have that unlock, that's a great place to start. And like I said, we have every resource that you might potentially need in order to make that happen. You're attending team calls. If you're on this call or listening to the recording, fabulous. I'm proud of you. Successful coaches stay plugged in. This is not a business that you want to do on your own. Is it possible to do on your own? Absolutely. But if you want to go further, faster, stay plugged into our team. 100%. You got to show up on the calls. You got to listen to the replays if you want to be successful. You are growing and learning daily. You're being resourceful and you're taking initiative. You are the CEO of your business, and while you have an upline coach and a business mentor that is there to help you be successful in every way possible, at the end of the day, it is your business, and you got to think like a CEO and be really resourceful and find those resources and take initiative to learn and grow and do those things that you need to do to become a better, stronger CEO of your business. Let's say you are doing all these things. You're like, Raquel, I am. I'm doing every single thing that I've been told to do. I'm plugging in, doing my vital behaviors. I'm learning. I'm taking initiative. But yet, I still feel like I'm stuck, not where I need to be. And you're still not seeing that level of success you want. So why is that? Well, success requires 3 things in this business. And like I said, this isn't going to be a strategy call. You have a ton of strategy. We give you strategy every week. This is going to be the other part of it. So, it's going to require strategy first and foremost. We've got that unlock. The second part is the mindset. And that is your personal development, affirmations, and having that unwavering belief. This is the one that stops us the most, is the mindset. We have got to work on this. We have been programmed probably for decades of maybe not having the right mindset that we need. So I'm going to touch on how we can reprogram our mind. And the third one, which you probably haven't heard us speak a lot about, but if you've been in any sort of contact with me, you're going to hear me talk about energy, vibrations, alignment. This is usually the missing piece. And most of us unknowingly block our potential because we don't actually believe it's possible for us. And we send that energy out into the universe. Okay. So we jump in this business. We're excited. We're hopeful. But hopeful isn't the same thing as knowing and having that belief of like, yes, I see others having success and I know it's possible for me. So if you can't sit here right now and say without a shadow of a doubt, I know I'm going to rock this business. I know what it takes to be successful. It's here, it's happening, it's coming. Then this is what it's going to be a great call for you, because we're going to talk about how to really work on that mindset and how to make sure that we are in alignment and that our energy is building momentum to the positive things that we want to achieve. So first things first, mindset. What I want you to ask yourself right here, right now is how much time do you really spend on personal development and growth? You know, part of our vital behaviors, we say at least 10 minutes or 10 pages a day. So whether you're listening to an audio book or you're actually reading an actual book in front of you, we say minimum 10 minutes. But how many of us are actually doing that? And I will tell you, 10 minutes isn't enough. It just isn't. I probably spend a good hour, if not more, listening or reading to personal development and ways to be better every single day. And I know you're thinking, well, Raquel, I don't have that time. But whether you are brushing your teeth, I'm folding laundry, I'm driving in my car. I can't tell you what's a popular song on the radio right now, because when I'm in my car, I'm listening to personal development. Before I go to sleep, right when I wake up, I find those pockets of time where I can be learning. The next thing is, what is your personal development focus? Because when I first started this business, I listened to all of the national wake-up calls every single Monday, and then I would listen to the Beachbody podcast for all the previous national wake-up calls. I was on YouTube. I was studying this business on how to be better. And if you're doing that, that's awesome, but that's not the personal development that I'm talking about. What I view that now is business strategy development. And while yes, it's great, learn how to build your Instagram, learn how to get followers, learn how to do fun, engaging IG stories, learn how to build this business through attraction marketing. Yes, that's business strategy. But what I'm talking about is, where do you struggle? Like, what do you struggle with in this business? Is it belief? Is it confidence? What is it for you? For me, my focus has always been on money, mindset, and belief. I know that has been, I will say, I'm now gotten really good at it and I've grown through my personal development. But when I first started this, my focus was on money, mindset, and belief. And that is what I tailored my personal development with. I can kind of share with you some of my books on money mindset, because I think that's a lot that holds us back. You're a badass at making money. That's a great one. Millionaire Mindset, Think and Grow Rich. I literally have a ton of books. Most of my personal development is on money, mindset, and belief. So if you want questions on that, I can kind of go look at my library of what I have, but that is what I focus my personal development on. So my question to you would be, where do you struggle and what do you need to focus on? And are you doing enough? Because 10 minutes a day, I'm going to tell you right now, isn't enough for you to have a level of success that you're probably wanting. All right. How to know if you have a toxic mindset? Because often these thoughts are subconscious and we don't even really know that our mindset isn't where it needs to be. Sometimes we're like, no, I'm good. Like, I have the belief, I feel good. Like I'm good. Here are some examples if you've ever thought them, and I'll be honest, most of us probably have. I know I have. It's an example of like, maybe that should be an awareness of like, I think I might need to work in that area. There's not enough. And I'm going to talk about where there's not enough, but that scarcity mindset of success. We're so ingrained of like, there's not enough, like, and that'll hold you back instead of having an abundance mindset where there's enough for all of us to succeed. And I'll touch on that in just a little bit. Have you ever said this? Because I know I have. It's possible for her, but not for me, right? Oh, well, that's easy for her because insert every excuse, limiting belief you might have, but I don't have that, right? So I'm going to talk about that as well. And then the last one is, you're not clear what you really want. That one's a kicker, because we say like, I just want to be successful. But if I were to ask you, well, what does success mean to you? Like, how will you know when you've reached success? Most of us would be like, well, I don't know, right? So you've got to get really clear on what success to you in this business looks like. What does it look like to you? It's going to look different for all of us. My idea of success may look different from yours, and that's okay. But unless you get really clear, the universe can't deliver on what it is that you want to achieve. So let's break these down. There's not enough. we tend to wake up in a state of not enough. How many of us wake up, the alarm goes off, and you're like, oh, I didn't get enough sleep last night. Boom, first thought of the day, you didn't get enough sleep, right? Or on the flip side, you get to the end of the day and you're like, dang, if I just had like 1 extra hour in my day, I could crush it. Like, God, man, if I just had an extra hour, a little bit more time, you're in that state of there's not enough time. There's not enough money. When I was working in corporate America, I got paid on the first of the month. I was a state employee. We got paid on the first every single month. We'd get to like the 27th or 28th, and it was like, oh, I hope I have enough money to make it to the end of the month, because sometimes it felt like there was more month than money. So there's not enough money. So we just live in this world of not enough. But what I want you to know is there's always enough, okay? We live in a world of abundance. And if you don't believe this, just step outside, get in nature for a hot second and see. We live in a world of all the trees and the flowers and the blades of grass, and the sky is so like vast. Just get outside and recognize that God created a world of abundance, and he did the same for us as well. So what we need to do is we need to reframe our thinking to see and feel abundance. So example of this is, I have 3 kids, a husband, there's 5 of us in this house, and there are dirty dishes in the sink. And instead of being like, oh my God, if I have to load and unload the dishwasher one more time, I might go insane. A way to reframe that is like, wow, we have an abundance and a surplus of food to eat, that we always have dirty dishes. Like, how blessed are we that my fridge is full, my pantry is full, my kids are getting healthy, nutritious food, and we're creating a lot of dirty dishes. Like, that feels more abundant than like, I have to load the dishwasher, right? Reframing it into the positive, like, wow, I know there are other people who would love to have a pantry full and a fridge stocked full of healthy food, and we get to have that. What a blessing. Same thing with the basket of dirty laundry. I've come to the realization that I will never be caught up on laundry, right? There's got to be more than 5 people living in our house with the amount of laundry that we have. But instead of being annoyed and like, oh my gosh, if I have to freaking fold more clothes, I'm going to go insane. It's like, wow, we have places to go and people to see, and we're so active, and look at all the clothes that my kids get to enjoy and run around in and get dirty. What a blessing. I have a house full of little kids who get dirty, and I get to wash their clothes for them. Again, it is retraining of our brain, and sometimes you got to reach for that. But that's just an example of how abundant we really, truly are. If we look around, we can reframe it in our own day-to-day lives. Here's the kicker. When we feel abundant, we attract more abundance to us. When we feel like there's not enough and you want to hoard and you're afraid and you don't want to share resources and you're afraid there's not enough money, when you get like that, we attract more of that scarcity to us. So this is why it's key that we've got to change train our brain and our thinking into believing there's always more than enough, right? Just like the oxygen in the air. You're never going to run out of oxygen to keep breathing. You don't have to like take a million deep breaths and like, I'm going to hoard it all for tomorrow so there's not enough, right? You would never do that. And it's the same thing with, I'm talking mostly about money in this business and clients, right? Sometimes you can look on, get onto Instagram or social media and be like, God, everybody's a Beachbody coach. Like, there's just not enough people in the world. There's like, the Beachbody coaching world is oversaturated. That's not true. There's so many people who need us. We're in the middle of an obesity epidemic. There's more than enough for us to all help all the people all the time. So that's what I want you to think. If you are struggling with there's not enough, we got to reframe that into the abundance that we actually live in. The next thing, it's possible for her, but not for me. I guarantee at some point, if you haven't already, you will get trapped into the comparisonitis, right? Where it's easy to look around at other people who may have started at the same time as you at coaching, and they are significantly further in their business. Or maybe they started after you. That's the real kicker. When you're like, well, shoot, she started after me as a coach, and look how far along she is, right? And I will tell you, it doesn't matter how successful you are in your business. I've been doing this for 4.5 years. In the grand scheme of things, I do feel successful, but even I look at other coaches who have started after me or started at the same time, who are making significantly more money than me. And it's hard not to be like, well, dang, well, what am I doing wrong? Like, well, what is she doing? Right? And then you go down that rabbit hole of like, okay, she's got to have some sort of like secret plan of doing it. Like, what is she doing? And I will tell you, I have wasted time doing that, comparing myself, making up every excuse like, well, she has a bomb transformation. I don't have as good transformation of her. Or man, she has like a really, really big Instagram following and like that's why she's doing it. Or, insert again, every limiting belief, excuse, whatever. If you fight for those limitations, you'll find them, but that's not serving you. Okay. And what I want you to know is that her success is not an indication of your failure. All right. So please know that someone else getting what you want is a clear sign from the universe that you can have it too. When I see other people like coming into my realm, like crushing it, sharing their income progressions, sharing how successful they are, I'm like, hell yes, I'm going to celebrate that, because if I can celebrate that and it's in my view, it's in my realm, I'm like, yes, it's getting closer to me. I know it's possible for me too. Now I'll tell you, that takes practice. I don't know why, but in my experience, sometimes as women, we're just not trained to be that way. We're not trained to celebrate the success of another woman. We're trained to be like, oh, well, shoot, if she's doing that, that means there's less for me. And I'm here to tell you that is not the case, but we have to retrain the way we're thinking. And I want you to know we are all created equal. Okay, so I use the word, I've said God, I've said universe. I say God, universe, source, Holy Spirit is all the same to me. We're all talking about the same source, energy, universe, God. However, whatever connects with you, to me, it's all the same. And if you believe in a higher power, if you believe in God, you know that we were created in His image, right? So if that's true, then we're all created equal. We're all created for greatness. Just some of us haven't tapped into it yet. Okay. And I want to say when that is, that's just a sign, in my opinion, that we're separated from God. We're separated from our source, right? And when we do that, that's when life gets hard. That's when we live in that scarcity mindset instead of abundance. But God wants us to have an amazing, beautiful, bountiful, abundant life. He created us all equal. We just got to tap into that greatness inside of us. Okay. Next mindset that I want you to talk about is getting clear on what you want. And let me just tell you, let me give you permission. It's okay to want big things. I don't know why this is like happening, but sometimes I feel like, yes, I love gratitude. I love appreciation. I love being content and happy, but sometimes content can keep you complacent. And it's okay to be grateful for what we have and still be striving for more. Just because I'm happy with what I have doesn't mean I can't push and want for more things. It's okay. All right. So I just want you to know that it's okay. Sometimes I think we have to be like, oh, I'm gonna be happy with this. I know other people don't have, other people would be so happy to have what I have. I just need to be grateful, right? And be good with where I am. No, you have a right and a responsibility to abundance. I truly believe that. Here's what I'm going to say. And I apologize if this is going to trigger you, but if you're not living in abundance right now, you cannot serve to your highest ability, hands down. I'm not saying that if you're not making a ton of money, you can't be of service to others, because that's not what I'm saying. But if you're not living an abundant state, you can't serve to your highest ability. An example of that would be if you are living paycheck to paycheck, you are stressed out about finances, you're worried, there's more month than money, you're probably not emitting a good energy, right? If you're like anxious and stressed, that's like the number one issue that, marriages have, is they fight about finances. That's probably not a great way to be. When we were living paycheck to paycheck, I couldn't tithe and give back in the way I wanted to. And that sucked. If a family member needed help, I didn't have it. It wasn't even a possibility for me to be like, hey, I'd love to help you with this, but I can't. Now, as I've grown in abundance and what my business has been able to provide, I'm able to give in big ways. When we get our tithe statements back at the end of the year, I'm always so happy. And I'm not saying that to boast or brag, but it feels really good to be like, God, that looks awesome. Like what we were able to give this year, that feels really good. When a family member needs something, or I feel called to give to, a GoFundMe account, I can give and it's not going to stress out or take away from my family budget. And that feels amazing for me to be able to do that. Now I can be more present for my kids at school. I can be there when their teachers need something. When I was working full time and, trying to fit it all in, I wasn't able to serve or be like, hey, how can I help? It just wasn't a possibility for me. So that's what I'm saying. When you're not living in abundance, you're not able to serve at your highest ability. So that's what I mean by that. Again, God, universe, source wants to support you, but you got to get specific on what you want to receive so it can deliver. Again, most of us say, I just want to be successful. Cool. Well, what does that mean to you? I just did a post on this about like what success means to me, and that means freedom. The freedom to be able to, wake up and yes, work my business, but if my kids want me to be at school, if I have to be at school for something, an event, I can be there and it's not going to stress me out. I want to be able to spend time with my family members. My grandfather is almost 80 years old. He's losing his memory. I can go and bring him lunch and have lunch with him and talk to him and engage with him. And that feels really good. That freedom to me is what success is. Being able to walk my kids to and from school, that's what I envisioned, right? Like that feels really good, that they don't have to go to after school extended care and I don't have to be rushing to pick them up by 5:30 or 6 p.m. to get home and get them fed and, bathed and then push them to bed. Like that is what success looks like to me. But I don't know what it looks like to you. Maybe it is a certain number in the bank. Maybe it's paying off student loan debt. I don't know what it is, but you got to get clear on what it is so that the universe can deliver. And then I want you to own it unapologetically. I'm going to give you another example of this. I will be in the Millionaire Club for Beachbody. Hands down, I will not quit until I achieve that millionaire level status. And at first it was like, ooh, I don't really want to say that because what are people going to think? Is she just in it for the money? Like that feels really weird. I don't know. No, I'm going to own that. Like I'm excited. I know that in this business, the more people I help, the more my income grows. And I want to touch on that real quick too, because there's a lot of people in here that are like, I'm not in this for the money. I just want to help people. Yes, absolutely. You would not be a coach if you didn't have a heart for wanting to help others, 100%. But I will tell you, the people whose income is the biggest in this business are those that are helping the most. So if you truly want to help people and make that impact, our income is always a direct reflection on the amount of people that we are helping, both building a bomb business and our clients getting great results. That's just the way this business model is set up, which I love. So own it. It's okay to say, I want to make a significant amount of money in this business because that is proof that I'm also helping a significant amount of people in this business. So get clear on what you want. Let's write it down and own it unapologetically. In fact, I would encourage you after this call to really take some time and then this week, text your coach, your upline coach, and tell them what it is that you want. What does success look like to you, and own it. Cool? All right. So talked about the mindset and you're like, okay, Raquel, I actually do have what would be considered a toxic mindset, but like, what do I do? How do I fix it, right? Again, there's years of programming. I'm 36 years old and I swear I didn't do personal development. My brain did not think like this prior to becoming a coach. So I had 30 years worth of negative thinking. For the most part, it was positive, but I still had some of that toxicity in there. So one thing that has helped me is affirmations. And if you are not currently doing this, you need to be, because there is power in our thoughts. There is power in our words. And there is something magical that happens when you speak it out into the universe. So I'm going to give you some of the affirmations that I like to say daily. When my alarm goes off, the first thing that I think in my head is I am happier, healthier, wealthier, and more fit today than I was yesterday. Like that is a program that I have in my mind, and I like have said it so many times that I believe it. Every day I'm like, yes, I'm getting happier, I'm healthier, my bank account is growing, and I am more fit today than I was yesterday. And I like feel it. I say it out loud as I'm getting dressed, and I own it. Another affirmation that I have is I always have what I need when I need it, and I am fully supported by the universe. Because I used to live in that money scarcity of like, oh, will there be enough? No, I always have what I need when I need it, and I am fully supported by the universe. I attract clients and coaches who are excited to work with me. So if you're somebody who's like, man, Success Club is hard, I can't help 3 new people, there's not enough people for me to help 3 new people every month, change it. I attract clients and coaches who are excited to work with me. And say it, say it, say it until you believe it, because a belief is just a thought you keep thinking. And when you say it out loud, I'm telling you, there's a vibration that is emitted that helps so much. I live life in the highest vibration and only good flows to me. I radiate success. Okay. So again, these may not resonate with you. You might have to sit down and we'll talk about how to create those affirmations for you. But these are some of mine that I like to say daily. When I was first starting this, because it wasn't really a habit yet, I programmed my alarm to go off at like certain times of the day. And I named my alarm with these affirmations. And the alarm would go off, I would read it, and I would turn the alarm off, and away I'd go until it just got ingrained in me. And now it's just like a part of who I am. So those are some that you can take a screenshot of if you'd like, but you'll have access to this when the call's over too. All right. So we talked about the toxic mindset, the affirmations. Now we got to change our beliefs. So a lot of us may not even realize what some of our subconscious beliefs are. One is like, God, why does it feel so hard? If you thought this business is hard, like, God, I thought this was going to be easier, but this is actually kind of hard. Change that, right? Like I said, Success Club is not hard. If you have thought it is hard, it will be. There are some months where I know I'm like not in a good headspace and the energy isn't there, and Success Club does feel hard. And there are other times where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to crush this month. And wouldn't you know, I have people come in, people are saying yes, people are ordering off of old links that I sent out months ago because I'm in a different energy. So change it from why it's so hard and change the affirmation to, no, this is easy. It's fun. I love what I do. And I know I have a solution that helps people. And keep saying it, saying it, saying it. Again, a belief is just a thought we keep thinking. So change our ways of thinking. If you don't 100% believe that you can be successful in this business, that just means there's something in our subconscious mind that's keeping you from getting there. Okay. And you may not even be aware of it, but it's there. And so when I talk about your subconscious mind, that's also sometimes what we call our ego, right? And that's there to keep us what we consider safe in our comfort zone within all of our limiting beliefs, right? It doesn't want you to try and like, oh, what if it doesn't work out? Or what if she doesn't hit her goal the first time? So it's better to just keep us safe, and we don't even actually try. So we keep those beliefs that keep us in our comfort zone, that keep us from taking action, that keep us from stepping up and showing up boldly and unapologetically as a way to keep ourselves safe, so that we're like, oh, we didn't really want that goal anyways. And it's like, oh, okay, no harm, no foul. I'm keeping safe in here. However, shifting our belief is the key to shifting our results. We have to shift our belief, our mindset, if we want to have the level of success that we want in this business. And there's no such thing as half believing. You can say affirmations all day, every day, but if you don't actually believe them, you're wasting your time. Okay, so if you're just like kind of in, halfway out of like, well, I think I can be successful in this business, I'm going to try. Nope, that's not going to get you where you need to be. There is no thing saying as half believing. So again, you're like, okay, Raquel, I know I need to work on my beliefs. I'm very much somebody who's tangible, who likes to know what to do. Tell me what to do and I will do it. So this is how we're going to shift our beliefs. First things first, if you're not doing this, I highly encourage you to journal. I have a million journals over here on my desk. Just depends on what mood I'm in for the day, where I will just free write. And if you're not a journal, like I really wasn't a journaler until probably, 2017, I got into it. It just helps get things out that you maybe not even realize were in there. Sometimes I'll ask myself questions and I will just start free writing and things will come up that I didn't even know were inside my mind. Okay. So if you're somebody who is like, doesn't think you can have a level of success that you want in this business, you want to be an elite coach and you're not there. First step is, well, why can't I? Why can't I have the level of success that I want? Why can't I be an elite coach? Why can't I make $500 a week? And see what comes up. And again, no judgment. We just want to take the gentle observer tactic where you just notice what comes up. And again, better out than in. And a lot of times we don't know what's in here. Now, if you were like me, how I used to be, I would be like, oh, yeah, okay, cool, I'll journal. That's fine. I'm good. I think I'm good. My beliefs are good. I'm telling you, this is one of those things that's easy to do and easy also not to do, but you've got to get it out there just to see what's in your head, okay? Then once those things are out there, you can kind of look and see of like, okay, well, what are my beliefs? Why don't I believe I can have the level of success that I want? What is it? And go through one by one, and let's just decide to choose a better feeling thought. Anything that brings you down or makes you feel less than divine is just not true. So look at it. If we said, again, hitting Success Club is hard. I've never hit it. I don't have 3 people every single month that want to work with me. Okay, well, let's choose a better feeling thought. And that would be, I can achieve Success Club. It's a brand new month. I know there are plenty of people out there that need my help and want to work with me, and they'd be blessed to work with me. And again, you're going to write that new thought down that now becomes your affirmation that you're going to repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat, because a belief is just a thought that you keep thinking. So let's retrain our brain into thinking a thought that feels better. Again, reframe every limiting belief with that affirmation. We want to observe those thoughts, anything that comes up, with loving curiosity and not judgment, okay? So instead of hitting Success Club is hard, there's hundreds of women out there waiting to work with me. I just have to show up. So your homework from tonight is to journal. Whatever's holding you back, let's just get it out. Get it out, get it out, get it out. Look at it and say, okay, how can I reframe this into a thought that feels better? And then now you have your list of affirmations that you're going to say every single day when you wake up, every single day before you sit down to do your action hour, and every single night before you go to bed. We're retraining our brain. We're retraining our brain. We're retraining our brain. Again, this is like a muscle that has to be worked every single day to recharge those beliefs. But until you shift your beliefs, you can't shift your results in this business, hands down. All right, the last part. This is what's going to get you thinking just a little bit. I promise I'm almost done because I know we're running late on time. But energy and alignment. If you've never heard this before, get excited because I'm about to blow your mind. You'll either think I'm cuckoo or you're like, man, she's onto something, okay? So our thoughts, our energy, and our energy is our reality, AKA this is manifesting. Okay, I just said our thoughts have power, that have energy, that emits energy, and our energy creates our reality. Here's what I want you to know. This is considered the law of attraction manifesting, and whether or not you believe in it, that's fine, but it is a universal law like gravity. While I don't understand it, I realize gravity is real, and if I go step off a cliff, I'm going down. So whether or not you believe in energy and alignment and manifesting, that's cool, but just know it's always either working for you or working against you depending on where you're thinking and where your thoughts are. If you were, this is just physics scientifically proven, put your hand under a microscope. We are all vibrating. We all are emitting a frequency and energy. We all have that. We know that. That frequency is going out, and like attracts like. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. So Funk's negative thought patterns is negative momentum to what we don't want. You know, we've all had those days where you wake up, you miss your alarm, right? You're like, crap, I'm running late. Oh my gosh, you're running late. You spill your coffee on you, right? Maybe you get pulled over on the way to work and it's just like, oh my God, could this day get any worse? You said that. And it does, right? Because you're in that negative energy state and you're attracting more energy to you. Hopefully you've been there because I know that I have. And that's when you have to be like, no, take a minute. I got to shift the momentum to what I do want, because if I continue on this path, it will be the worst day of my life, and I don't want any more negative things coming to me. So the key to manifesting is this shifting the momentum to what we do want. So how do you do that? Always choose a better thought, right? If your day started off wrong, you take a minute, you take a breath, and you say, all right, today didn't start off like I wanted, but I have the power to make it better starting now. Fresh start, okay? Choose a better feeling thought. Another way to change our vibration, change our energy, change that momentum is gratitude and appreciation. I know multiple coaches on our team, first things first when they wake up before they do anything is they write out 5 things that they're grateful for. When you get yourself, that's like the highest frequency, the highest vibration. When you have gratitude and appreciation for where you are now, that is when you can attract more good things to you. So example, I'm talking about money because that's what this call is about, is how to bring more money, how to build a better income in this business. And for me, a huge part of it was working on my money mindset. Whenever I would swipe my card, to pay for something, or I guess now we like stick it in with that little, whatever you call it. But instead of being like, oh God, I have to pay for this, I always say there's more where that comes from. Like, it's in my head when I go to pay for something, there's always more where that came from. There's always more where that came from. And now it's just like in my thought process of like, I spend money and it's just flowing. Like, I know there's more coming in, right? Paying bills, instead of being like, oh God, my biggest bill of the month is always our mortgage payment. And instead of being like, oh crap, I have to pay this big bill, instead I'm like, God, I'm so thankful that the bank has loaned me money to live in this beautiful home, in this wonderful neighborhood with incredible neighbors and a great school district that my kids get to grow up in. How wonderful is that? Thank you, Wells Fargo. Let me pay that mortgage bill. Okay. Again, gratitude and appreciation, writing that list, and then changing our way of thinking, especially when it comes to money. Being in the moment. This is hard to do, but allowing yourself to receive the fullness of the moment. If I were to check in with our breathing right now, I'm pretty sure most of us are shallow breathing, right? That's just kind of like what we do. So you have to take time to like really think about inhaling for 5 seconds and exhaling for 5 seconds. And if you've ever tried to do that, like that takes some practice to really work on that deep breathing. Putting your phone away. Part of something that I want to teach my coaches every single day is to put your phone away for minimum an hour a day. Unplug, disconnect, be present. Get outside in nature. That's like the best. I spent the whole weekend at a Girl Scouts camp and it was really freaking hot, but it was actually a beautiful location. The grounds were gorgeous. We had the most beautiful sunrises and sunsets, and it just makes you soak it in. Okay. But if we don't really be intentional on that, we'll go about our day and we don't really sit and really take in the moment. Whether that's, when my kids were little and they weren't like stinky and smelly, I would just like smell their hair, right? Like the smell of babies, there's just something beautiful about that, right? Or their softness of their skin. So really just take a moment to just appreciate where you are. Sometimes in the morning, I'll sit with my cup of coffee and I'll just like appreciate the warmth of my coffee. I love my coffee. It's like, I just love it. Just so taking that time to be fully present where you are, that's how you shift the momentum to what you do want. Okay. All right, I'm trying to go quickly here. Here's what I want you to know also. Again, we're always co-creating with God, right? We always are. What we're thinking, what we're saying, how we're acting, what we're feeling, we're always attracting more to you. However, so if you're sitting here and going, well, that's a load of crock, Raquel, because I would not have chosen the life or the current circumstances I'm in now, if that's true. And I get it. I know. I've been there. But I just want you to know that your current circumstances don't mean anything about you as a person. Like I said, it just doesn't, right? It's like, okay, for some reason, I have attracted this into my life right now, but I want you to know that you are perfect exactly as you are, regardless of your external events and circumstances. And if for those of you that may not know my story, prior to becoming a coach, from the outside looking in, my life was great. I had 3 beautiful babies. I'm married to the love of my life. We live in a beautiful home, great neighborhood. I loved my job at the time. Life was really good, and yet I didn't feel fulfilled. I didn't. I was in a funk. I think I was in a postpartum hormonal roller coaster, and I wasn't happy. And I just remember thinking like, this is not the way I envisioned my life, but I realized I had the power to change it. Okay. And I hope that I'm encouraging you to know, like, if you're not where you want to be, get excited because you have the power to change it starting here, starting right now. What you're living here right now is old manifested energies, right? I always think about it's like old chewed up gum that doesn't have any flavor. Like that's what we're living. But what we're thinking and what we're feeling and how we're acting now is manifesting our future. So just know that. So what I want you to do is embody the vision for your life. What is success look like to you? What does a perfect day look like for you? And I used to spend time really thinking about like, oh, what would my day look like? Like, how would I start my day? And what would I do? And I envisioned walking my kids to and from school. I envisioned being able to come home and like sit down and have some focused work time. And I envisioned being able to go to brunch with my girlfriends and where would we go and what would we eat? And, and a lot of that vision has come true for me. But I would think about it and get like very specific, get down to every single detail. I would visualize it. I have journals full of like what my perfect day looks like. And I would speak as if it's already in present tense, and I do this with some of my girlfriends, and Jessica could tell you, like, we'll talk as if it's already happened. Like we'll have coffee and we'll talk like, oh, I'm so excited. Da, da, da. I've done this and I've locked in this and I'm making this amount of money. And it feels a little goofy, but it also feels really good. And when you start speaking as if it's already happened, I have this thing that I always say, it's like, it's done. Like what I want to achieve, that millionaire club, it's done. Like I already know, like that's happening for me. Like, duh, of course, why wouldn't it? And I believe it, but I've worked so much of my mindset to get there. But you got to embody what you actually believe. So start acting like that elite coach, that superstar diamond, that millionaire club. How would the next version of myself respond and act and show up in her business? I always think about that. Like, what is the millionaire level Raquel? How does she lead her team? How does she show up online? How does she speak when she's talking to clients? What's the level of confidence that she emulates when she's talking to people? And that's what you have to do. Embody that next level version of yourself and bring it to you. All right. This is a way of life, and I'm sure I've gone through a lot. I could literally go on and on and on. If you want to talk more about this, we should do brunch and I will talk your ear off. But this is how successful people live. It just is. But it takes practice. You can't be high vibe all the time. You just can't. We're human, having a human experience. But you got to learn how to get yourself back to it. So when you are having that terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day, you got to catch yourself and be like, all right, no, how do I change it? I don't want to keep this negative momentum. How do I change it into the positive? How do I get back to where I need to be? And that looks different for each of us. You know, I have a high vibe playlist on Spotify that I know that when I listen to, it helps me get into a better state, right? Maybe it is a cup of coffee for you. Like you have a certain coffee shop that you're like, ooh, when I have that cup of coffee, it just makes me feel so good. Or maybe you have a friend that you call. Like I have girlfriends that I'm like, okay, when I'm down, I know I need to call them because they're going to help me. Like Genevieve will put me in a good mood. She's going to dance it out with me. If I'm in a funk, she's going to listen to me for 30 seconds and then be like, all right, you got to change it. Like, no, this is like not a good look on you, right? So learn what it takes to get back into a high vibe state. Have your little 30-second pity party, feel sad for yourself, but then realize, do I want to attract more of it? No, I got to change my momentum. So again, I told you a little bit about my story. I wasn't happy with where I was, but I realized no one was coming to save me, right? I couldn't just hope that one day my life was going to get better and one day I'd be happier and fulfilled and living in a more abundant state. And one day I'd be able to walk my kids to and from school for who knows how that was going to happen. I realized I had to decide to change and make it happen. And I will tell you, that is a way more empowering place to come from than just hoping and wishing that one day it'll be better. Okay? So just know you have the power. This business opportunity that you're sitting in can change your life if you let it. But you can't be halfway in. You can't halfway believe that you have what it takes to be success. You can't halfway show up doing the 4 vital behaviors. You have to go all in knowing 100% without a doubt that you will be successful. And if you don't believe that yet, that's where your work lies, in changing those beliefs, creating those affirmations, changing our thinking so that those thoughts that we keep having turn into beliefs that we 100% embody and believe. All right, last final thoughts. Sorry. 2 quotes I want to leave you with. Actions speak louder than words. So again, I didn't talk about strategy because you have all the strategy. You have our guides, our scripts, our action hour. You have it. You have to take the aligned action 100%. You can't just sit here in la la land and visualize and journal and hope that it comes true. You got to take the action too. But more than anything, your mindset and the energy and alignment, vibrations and beliefs speak louder than all of it. When I first started this business, I did not have the strategy. Straight up, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no direction. But my belief, I was like, hell yes. I see my coach, my upline coach, making more in 1 week than most people make an entire year. If she can do it, I can too. And I believed it. Right? Maybe it was naivety, maybe it was ignorance, but ignorance is bliss. And I believed it. And I showed up like that every day. And my posts weren't great. My videos were terrible, but I had such belief that I knew I would figure out the strategy. But because I had such great belief, I attracted it to me. I attracted bomb coaches. I attracted clients, and I have been successful. So if you do nothing else from this call, I want you to focus on those vibrations, that energy, that belief. Get where you need to be, because that's going to make a huge change in your business. Lastly, your mind has to arrive at your destination before your life does. Like I said, you got to visualize it. You got to act as if. You got to speak it out into the world. You got to write letters to yourself. You have got to get there in your mind and let your life catch up, because it will. And I'm living proof of that. All right. I know that I've gone too long. I apologize, but I just get so fired up about this stuff. So let me stop sharing. Let me make sure that if there's any questions I can answer. And if I didn't, oh yeah, Get Rich Lucky Bitch is a great book, Rachel. Yes, it's possible for her, but not for me. We're cutting that out. Again, if it shows up in your environment and you're seeing someone be super successful, get excited. I'm like, hell yeah, it's closer. It's coming. It's showing up. God, universe is showing me that it's possible for me too. And if it weren't, it wouldn't be showing up in my environment, right? Yes, I will definitely share the slides, y'all. Okay, any other questions? I know it's late, but I'm here for questions. I hope that you latch onto this. I truly believe, as much as I love strategy, I love this so much more. And I swear to goodness, it is what has been the game changer in my business. I really kind of went on a spiritual journey in 2017. Started off this business so strong, and then 2017 got hard for me because I believed it got hard. And so I made a change in my thinking and how I was acting, and it showed in my business. I had a big boom in my income level. So please know that it does take practice and it does change your way of thinking. And if it freaked you out today, that's okay. We're just going to baby step into it, but I'm always here if you have questions on any of this stuff. Cool? Any other questions? And
You're
seriously,
so awesome.
Hey
You're
girl.
so awesome.
Thanks.
That was so good. Really good.
Thank you. Anything else? All right, I'll post the recording in VIP, and if you have any questions about what I talked about, I'll make sure to upload the slides so you have them as well. Let me know, but let's go rock this week, okay, y'all? Bye.